Boobies! Boobies! Hi,
Hello.
it's us.
Wow, it is us on today.
On this day.
On this day.
On this fine day.
This
to speak
day,
about
the
horror
Lord
movies.
was born.
Was it? It could have been because the calendar's off.
Well,
he wasn't
yeah,
born on
it's
Christmas.
I think it's more so like
It's springish though.
yeah,
Yeah.
like almost summer,
Mhm.
like May or June.
Time is not even relative at this
Yeah.
point. Yeah.
Who knows?
Who knows?
What was I watching the other day where I feel like Jesus was involved? Maybe it was a dream.
It could have
don't know.
been. He
I
was
have no
speaking
clue.
to you. Good Lord.
The Lord visited me in a dream, and He told me. No,
I've had some crazy dreams before.
I've had a lot of crazy dreams recently.
I've actually, when I was younger, I used to have a lot of like nightmares about like the rapture. Actually, though.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
You
but
had
I
the
also
fear
had
of
like
God instilled in you.
I did, and I had an irrational fear when I was younger about that. Where like, oh
He's
God,
gonna come any day.
the way that attachment issues like are still a thing now. Wow, this all circles back. No,
To God?
no, to like I used to have this irrational fear of the rapture between like
Mm.
the ages of like 6 and like 12 or 13.
Yes.
And I would always have to be around someone, or especially more so like a parent, like my dad.
Oh,
or
because you're
someone-
worried that they were going to come get you.
And for some reason, I held them at this reverence of like, if anybody's getting into heaven, they are. And so I was like, it's my cue. If I know if they're gone, then like it's happening.
Oh,
And so I was always like
interesting.
on edge of like, oh, it's about to happen. It's about to happen. It's weird.
I
Yeah.
had an irrational fear kind of like that, where one time my mom told me about Beetlejuice, Beetlegeist,
Beetlejuice.
the
right?
red dwarf in the sky, though.
Oh, okay.
Like the star that is
I've
just
never heard of
nicknamed
that.
Beetlegeist.
Oh, okay.
And it was like, it could like explode and then
Mm.
either, or it had already exploded. I don't really understand what a red dwarf is. I don't know astronomy.
It's a star that's already a red dwarf.
Yeah.
It's like a baby star.
Okay. Well, somehow this star could have killed us,
Mhm.
or could kill us, and we wouldn't really know when. Like it could be 1,000
I don't
years.
know why I answered that. Like I'm like know things about
Yeah, see, we
space
don't.
like that.
I don't know. But anyways, I didn't look up into the night sky for like a solid 6 years of my childhood because I was like, if I look at it, I'm gonna die.
Damn.
And then
Yeah, the way that things get stuck in our heads when we're small and
Yeah.
like make you
we
yeah,
act
I
the
feel that.
weirdest ways. Yeah. Eventually, I started like I was like, oh, that's a fucking dumb fear. Like once I
Yeah,
realized.
eventually
And then I
didn't give a
looked and I
fuck.
was like, oh shit, the night sky's so goddamn pretty. What have I been missing out on for 6 years? Like we would ride in the car at night and I would like hide my eyes from the window.
Oh my God.
It's so ridiculous.
No, I mean I feel that. It's the way that I would like look up and like just always like it's almost like when you want something to happen but like you don't want it to happen, you know?
Yeah.
But like I was always on
Oh,
edge
yeah.
and like thinking like if planes start falling out of the sky and then okay, I kid you not, one time I could not find my dad after school and we were at home. I think he like left me there and went to like the gas station real fast for like 5 minutes and didn't tell me. And I was freaking out,
Aw.
dude. I was freaking out. I was like
What's happening?
literally yelling outside, screaming for like my dad. And then like
You better start praying.
I got like my sister had this old digital camera that could zoom in, and
Oh,
we
yeah.
lived at the end of the street that like was at the end like just straight, and if you looked dead ahead, it would be like the main street where people would, a lot of more traffic. And so I got that camera and I zoomed it in and was like, okay, I see cars driving, so we're fine. It hasn't happened yet.
I love it.
Oh, I was crazy. I was very neurotic.
I love it though.
Yeah.
It made you who you are today. And
Broken.
that is, what's your name?
Just
This is
kidding.
Boobies.
This is Boobies, and welcome to your introduction
Yep,
to our
and-
therapy session.
And you are.
I'm Joshua.
And I'm Caitlin.
I no longer fear the rapture.
Good. And I like stars.
Good.
Yay.
We love stars. You are a star.
No, you're a star.
No, you're a star. We're all stars. Aw. And today, you guys, I'm excited because
We're gonna talk about
continue-
Another star.
Mm,
Sid.
Sydney Prescott.
She is the star. That's what they keep saying.
What's your favorite scary movie? Yes, she is the star.
That is the whole premise of this podcast.
Basically, it is. What's your favorite scary movie? Scream 4, you guys.
Scream 4.
We've been covering the Scream franchise so far.
We're
And
heading towards the release of Scream 5. That'll be
We've
When this comes out,
slashed.
it'll be this week.
Yep, we've slashed our way through 1, 2, and 3.
Shop, shop, shop.
So now, ding, ding, ding.
Ting,
It's
ting,
time
ting.
for Scream 4.
Scream 4.
Yes, released.
What a film.
10. I believe it was like 11 years after the previous one, Scream
Came
3.
out in 2011.
2000. I think it was 10 years and came out in 2011. You're right. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, it was.
No,
yeah,
it was 11 years because the third one came out in 2000.
Yeah.
That is crazy. Yeah.
11 years later.
And then this new one coming out, it's gonna be like just about 10 years.
10 years, yeah.
Mhm.
I read an article. I was looking through trying to just find some little fun facts and stuff about it, and I read an article that was just, it was so old that it basically was like Craven's dead. Like now any hopes of continuing this, the fourth that was supposed to spawn a trilogy, like you had mentioned previously, it said basically that there's no hope for one now, and we will never see a Scream 5. And I was like, you poor internet writer.
Retraction.
You can look forward to it now.
Yeah, we're gonna have to.
It has
update
become a reality.
But yeah, so someone took the helms and is making a Scream 5. But
Let's see
Scream.
how it goes.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. Keeping a low bar of expectation right now, but I'm excited.
That's how I say it. Keep your expectations low, and you'll never be disappointed.
Exactly.
Or you'll be pleasantly surprised.
Well, it's all about managing those expectations. Okay. So Scream 4, you guys.
Starts off real trippy.
Yeah, very meta already.
So meta. And they're dropping the word meta, and they're talking about it
Literally
so much.
And I think at this point, because it's like, what other innuendos can you do, or what kind of like subtle, like at this point, it's just like, we know what it is.
Yeah.
And so it's very heavy on the like, well, especially because we start off with a fake introduction and then into another fake introduction.
Yeah, at that point I was like, I don't know what to believe. Like,
yeah,
I don't know what to trust.
Where we got to the real girls, Marnie and whatever.
Yeah, I was waiting for
a joke or like stab 8. Yeah,
yep.
literally.
And then it said Scream 4.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay.
So, and anyways, in that opening scene, yeah, it was pretty cool though too, how like all the girls are talking about like their own versions of what we've heard in other movies, where they're like, horror movies this, and then like the classic tropes of like what happens in a horror movie.
I did like the phone call start. I was a fan of that. It also gave me, slightly with the lighting, it gave me like almost Ringu vibes.
So throughout the whole movie, did you notice that there was like this like weird filter?
Yeah.
Like there was something going on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? And
because especially when Alison Brie dies, her character is like heavily gray toned,
and then there's also,
which is a parking garage at night, so it like, okay.
Yeah, I noticed it was like whenever there would be like lights or stuff like going on, like there was like, even the way it would make lights look like, you know, when you have like when you're blind like me and have blurred vision without your contacts, like when the lights look like that.
Oh, and they're like skewed.
Exactly. Yeah, it looked a little more like like that.
Yeah, I think that means you have astigmatism.
That's what I got.
Yeah, me too.
My way.
I don't know. Maybe that's a false information.
But I like I like in that beginning, whenever the first opening, whenever the girl's like, "Oh, I'm talking to this dude, he on Facebook or something like that,"
yeah,
and she's
Facebook.
like, what's he saying? And she's like, "Oh, he's like, hey, what's up? You're hot. I want to kill you."
Yeah, I wrote. I was like, "I'm gonna kill you." What?
Yeah.
Like,
and the way she's kind of like into it, and then like the other girl's like, delete him or something, or block him.
She was so against him at first, and then she was like, it's just a joke. It's just a joke. With the phone calls coming in, and I was like, bitch, no. Like,
yeah.
This ain't no joke.
Seems a little real to me.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh, and I love when she was like, that's Channing Tatum's body.
Yeah.
Because then it was also like Tatum, like it's a callback to Tatum also as well. The name, because they could have used anybody. Like that's John Travolta. That's this person. Or I don't know why I just said John Travolta. Okay.
John Travolta is clearly the epitome of abs.
Wow. But yeah, could have been anybody. But
John Travolta. I mean, young John Travolta was.
And
attractive.
So anyways, I guess that's what I took that as a little callback to just shout out to
I didn't even think about that. Also, why is bitch named Trudy?
I thought the same thing.
I was like, Trudy? LOL.
That's what I put down too.
I did like the I'm gonna cut your neck till I feel bone. It reminded me of that, like, I'm gonna gut you like a fish.
Literally, and the same like lines. And then the whole like her friend getting stabbed. Oh no, Trudy Trudy, right?
Yeah, Trudy got stabbed.
Trudy getting stabbed, and then her friend getting murdered at the door. I thought was
So
a whole dramatic. Yes,
I was
the way the hair caught onto like the little door frame as she's falling.
I was like, these deaths are silly, and then I was like, oh, okay. I was step 6, and I was like, okay, I feel better about this because I was like, damn, that was like.
It's
that
too
was
cheesy.
too kitschy, yeah.
Kitschy, yeah.
And I was just like, I'm not. I mean, the way that
it was heavy on the camp.
What's her face? That one bitch from isn't she like in Pretty Little Liars or some shit?
Lucy Hale from Pretty Little Liars, and that was Shailene Woodley from like 90210 back in the day, and she had a whole little phase where she was in a bunch of TV shows.
Yeah, I did recognize her a little bit. But yeah, so Lucy Hale's death towards the end, like once she stopped with the dramatic face, like the blood just going down. That looked pretty cool. I was like, okay. But then it said step 6, and I was like, okay, I feel better about this.
And before that, I really liked the callback too to, is it that girl or is it the blonde girl? Is it? No, yeah. When she was running through the garage, and then the garage, she closes the garage door on her. And it's also kind of like a little homage, I guess, to Tatum.
Wait, is that later?
No, that's in that first opening scene.
Yeah, I do. I remember I wrote that somewhere.
Yeah, that's from that first.
She was not
scene.
trying hard. Oh yeah, it was in the. Yeah. No, wait, that was the actual girl.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah,
I'm jumping ahead.
That was the actual girl.
That's the way I'm so excited for that. Okay.
Yeah,
right.
no, but that was a cool scene. They do such a good job of just calling back to all the films.
The way that I didn't even stick to my notes. I literally have it right here. But yes. Yeah. So I liked the opening, stab 6, stab 7, and then it's funny because in stab 7 opening,
the girl's just shitting on meta films.
Yeah, there's the way she even mentions the word meta. Yeah.
And I was just like, yeah, she's shitting on a meta film in a meta film, and it's just, I don't know. And then I wasn't expecting. What was that? Her name's Kristen Bell, right?
And Anna Paquin.
Okay, yeah, I didn't recognize that girl, but I recognize Kristen Bell. Good Place.
Anna Paquin. Yeah, that's a good show. Anna Paquin is the girl from like I think it was like the Vampire Diaries. Or something.
Yeah, definitely didn't watch that.
Or a different show. No, True Blood. She's
definitely
from True
Blood. Didn't watch that either.
And a bunch of older movies. She's Rogue from X-Men.
Oh. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, anyways,
yes.
Her getting stabbed in the stomach was pretty dumb.
Murdered.
I was just like, oh, okay. But I mean, and Kristen Bell was not having her talking during the movie.
I liked Kristen Bell's like, you talk too much.
Yep.
And just stabs her and then stabs her again in the same place.
I liked
how Anna Paquin's character was like gurgling the blood, like,
and then all of a sudden went, bah!
Yeah, just dead.
Her head
and I'm
literally
like, kill somebody? Does that kill somebody that fast like that?
I don't know. I mean, some of these people, they got stabbed in the stomach and they're out, and then there's other people who get stabbed. Homeboy who got stabbed in the head.
Oh,
he's just
Anthony,
sitting there walking.
Anderson,
I was like,
and then he's like,
fuck Bruce Willis. I couldn't decide if I hated that or not.
Same for me. I was like, okay, I guess they had to give him one final like line.
Yeah,
before he
like, dies. They had their token black character.
And so we got a title card after that. We got it going into Scream 4 after. We got it.
So then it goes
going into the Real Girls.
Yeah. So I was like, I don't know. This is where I put. I don't know what to trust. I was like, I don't know if this is real. I don't know if this is yet another Scream or Stab film.
They just end the movie right there.
Yeah,
literally.
That's all.
I don't know whose pen that was, but I just put it on my face. And so it's so funny. We have Marnie is the girl, and I forget the other blonde.
I don't know
girl's name. It was said very fast.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, we have them talking about these movies now, and it's funny because then Marnie is like talking about, well, if they're watching this in Stab 7 and then we're watching this in Stab 6 and something about Stab 5, then what's Stab 4 about? And I love that line because we're watching Scream 4.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was clever. I did like that line. I appreciated that a lot.
And it's funny because it's like, I love how they're able, like, just like every other movie, like the first movie and then the sequel is, and a sequel talking about sequel, and then the third one's talking about the third movies, and now we're talking about a fourth movie and being in a fourth movie. Like, it's just also the layers.
They do it very well. This bitch, like, when I hear sounds upstairs in my house, I ignore it. I do not go up there. Also, because I just assume it's a ghost. I'm like, it's probably one of my many haunted things in my house. Just bumping around.
And I mean, what good is gonna do of checking something out like that?
Just stay downstairs or
it's not
get out of
bothering
the fucking
you.
house.
Yeah, at that point.
Yeah. So don't be in there. I don't know. Like that. I just never understand that when they're like, I'm gonna go check. Like, no, fucking don't. Don't go check.
We just like mind our business and like leave or do something else.
Get the fuck out of the house. Pretend it never happened. And if it keeps bumping around, don't go check. Get out.
Yeah.
Get out. Let someone with experience go check. Not you. I mean, and of course it ended up being a joke. Anyways, it was in her. Oh, and then she was like, "Oh, I guess I just left my window open." I was like, "Who the fuck leaves their windows open?"
Yeah.
Who the fuck opens their windows? Why are you opening your windows?
And it's the way that
we got AC in Texas.
I couldn't tell if she was just like trying to rationalize that or like make herself feel better about it. But I'm just like, I don't know, because Ghostface had to get in somehow.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I don't know. That's so fucking dumb. I just don't get it. Like, I lock my house is locked up tight all the time.
I think we talked about it before. I used to not lock my parents' back window because I needed to get in.
Yeah. I think, because I also had to do something similar, but I think we broke the window. I don't remember. We did something. We got in. Anyways, but yeah, I just don't get it. Anyways, she calls Marnie downstairs. She's like, go answer the phone. And then so now they've got an app on the cell phone
that can change your voice into Ghostface.
Yeah. And so
seems about right.
Everyone could be Ghostface now.
Yeah.
And she's sitting there talking to her, saying blah, blah, blah. And then you hear Marnie getting stabbed. And it's like, oh, fuck. And then she thinks the joke's being played on her, goes downstairs, can't find her yet. Gets the phone
Marnie,
call,
you're
though.
so funny.
She's like, you should direct a horror film.
Yeah.
And she's like, the timing is perfect. I did like that whole scene when she's going through and she's like, oh, the lights are off, phone on the middle of the floor. Like, okay. And then the phone rings in her hand, giving her a little nice jump scare. And she's like, timing is perfect.
Yeah. And it was really good. I liked that as well. I liked that it was kind of like also making like, it gave me like the vibes of like, I don't know if that scary movie whenever she's like, oh, now you're going to kill me. Oh, now you're going to like give me that.
Do I get to play the victim?
Yeah.
Yeah, Tatum. Once again.
Yeah.
And then this is where we get the garage door scene.
Yeah. So then like we have a whole Ghostface throws fucking Marnie's body through the fucking window. Poor fucking Marnie.
He's on the phone with her at first too, and she's like, "Is this Trevor?" And he goes, "Do I sound like a Trevor?"
Literally.
I just thought that was hilarious. And then he's like, "You're the dumb blonde with the big tits." Like,
and she's
you
like,
gotta die.
I have a 4.0 GPA.
And she's like, I've got an IQ of 361 or some shit.
It's like 135 or something.
135.
Like
okay, yep. She's
Mega
a
mind.
super genius.
Mega mind. And so it's really funny that she then still gets attacked and then is chased through the house.
Those damn chain locks once again.
It's always the chain locks.
Just like Sid, she couldn't get out with chain lock, and then she runs upstairs.
Don't
run upstairs.
I've used chain locks though. Like, what? How is it that hard to just?
I guess if you're freaking out.
That's true.
I don't know. Just don't have a chain lock.
Yeah.
Have a deadbolt.
I feel like that'd be hard. Well, no, that's not as hard.
You just
flip it. Yeah. Whatever that movement is called.
Flip it.
Flip it.
Bop it.
Sock it.
Sock it.
Pop it.
To me.
And so then we have, I just wanted to talk about the garage door.
Yeah. She's hiding up against the door though, whenever she gets into the, what I'm assuming is an attic.
It's something like that. And then like he stabs her and she falls into she
falls down the stairs
but it looks like I guess they're doing some home renovations or something because it's like unfinished, half finished kind of thing.
That's why I assumed attic.
I was like, okay, gotcha. Is that what that is?
Yeah, because the insulation was out, and typically insulation is exposed in attics.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, yeah, it looked like that.
It's so crazy though, the way that like I guess we're upstairs or whatever, and then she's in whatever that is attic, but then it like goes all the way down through those stairs and she's in the garage.
Doesn't every garage have a stairway to the attic? No.
I'm like, wait.
It is fucking weird. I don't know. But she does make it downstairs, and she's trying to get
Crawl
through
out.
the garage, and thank God she's not going through a cat door this time.
Yeah.
But
also I'm thinking like, oh no, big mistake, as she's like slowly crawling.
Yeah, I was like, girl, you are not trying
at all.
Get up. Like, you got stabbed once in the back. Come on.
And I would have rolled, like tucked and rolled or something.
Yeah, other people got other people got stabbed like 80 times more, and they was walking around just fine. So I'm assuming
she had no will to live.
I know exactly what it's like. I have no clue. I've never been stabbed, but I imagine, according to the movies,
I'm sure
you should move faster.
It's a searing pain. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure it's not pleasant. But she army crawling looked harder than that. She was having to move her fucking shoulder blade around. I'm sure.
I guess he like stabbed her right in the middle of the shoulder blades kind of area. Yeah, which
so I imagine not using
if someone
that
would stab me with a big knife like that, I feel like it would just come right through.
Like,
literally.
It's a little tip on the other side.
Just a little bit. Just a little.
Just the tip. LOL.
Oh man. And then we finally get to start the movie.
Yeah, now it's real Scream 4. We get the nice kind of slashing motion again, but not like a for the 3. It just is like
4.
It's there, and then the A turns into the 4.
Yeah, the A is the 4.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
Yeah, clever. Find a nice way to work that in. I wish they would have done the same thing with 5. But it's funny because I was looking at that the other day. I'm like, how could we I was looking up mock-ups of how people did it. And if you put
I was wondering if there was a V somewhere.
Yeah, which is, if what I liked is that on the M, they made it like a V, like a deep V in the middle, like for 5.
Okay, smart.
Roman numeral. But someone had made one where it was like the 5 was the S.
Yeah.
So it's like 5 cream.
5 creams.
It says 5 cream. And I'm like, oh, I see why you wouldn't want to do that. Sounds like a snuff film.
That's funny. Man, but once again, this town is fucking crazy. He's on every goddamn lamppost.
Yeah, Woodsboro.
Why are they still not pulling these costumes? Why?
Yeah. Well, I guess it was some kids or teens, whatever. But like also too, then it's like the same thing on like, I guess we were talking Scream 3 or Scream 2, I forget which movie we were talking about, where it's like these movies are like also influencing like actual murders happening. So like why would they still even like manufacture, like make like, I feel like at some point in real life they would be like, there would be something happening.
We need to pull these from the shelves because or there would so many like people have died.
Like, Safe Moms of America group that would like have lobbied like to get that shit,
They would have 110%.
Yeah.
Like there's no way this shit would be allowed.
And so then we have Sydney. We get to see Sydney already right off the bat, which is really fun.
I put, damn, Sid, okay. She looking good in that red dress.
And she's an author.
Yep. She wrote her own book.
Out of Darkness.
Out of Darkness. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was, I couldn't tell if I liked that. I don't know.
I liked it. I think I liked what I liked throughout the whole movie too is that like at this point, like she wasn't hiding like she was from what we found her in Scream 3. And she's kind of like at this point at least turned it around and like made something out of it for what it is,
Yeah, I mean, if you got to live with it, I guess.
Make money off of it.
Yeah.
Help some other people, I guess, if along the way. But yeah. I liked it. I thought it was pretty cool. I thought it was quite ironic that now she's wrote a book whenever it was all about like books written about her.
Yeah.
So I thought that was also kind of like a cool little end on, not a joke, but like ironic full circle moment. Because then she gets to like create her own narrative.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's true. She does get to reinvent herself as we talk about later on.
Which that whole reinvention is like heavy throughout the whole movie. Reinventing, I guess, the remake. And so I love that like right after that. And we get Alison Brie, who's her manager.
Yeah. And she's over the top. It was interesting seeing her act this way. I don't know, because I feel like so recently she's been more of the subdued kind of character who is like in Horse Girl. And I mean, she was weird as fuck in Horse Girl.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Is it a horror movie?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's a weird movie.
Okay.
And then in Promising Young Woman, she was, I
liked her.
She was really good in that one. But very much more so
different notes.
Yeah, not as like over the top,
and not a bitch.
Yes, very
not even a bitch. Sorry,
she's not sensitive.
Yeah, that's the word.
She is not trying to pull any punches, and again, just like this whole town. I mean, no regard for what Sydney might actually be thinking about with these murders happening.
And then it's her interaction with she only interacts really with Sydney, but her interaction with Gail. And we'll talk about that here in a minute, but like the way that she's talking to her, it's like, oh, okay, all right, I see who you like, what type of person you are.
And whenever the murders happen, she calls, I guess, I don't know, the publicist or some other person, and it's just like there's been 2 murders.
This is gonna be great for book sales. Yeah.
Yep. Fun.
And so and then we have Dewey, and I love how it cuts to Dewey and Gail in bed together.
So it's like, oh well, so like, now we know they're happy, but
they're still together.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say they're not happy, I guess.
They're just not communicating well.
Yeah. And I love how like we get to see that Dewey's finally the sheriff.
And his like fucking minivan looking car. What the hell? I was like, is this a minivan or is it a Jeep Grand Cherokee? What the hell? I couldn't tell. It looked, I was like, you couldn't have got him a cuter car.
Come on. Then so we have him going to meet up, I guess there's a shot of like the city, and of course there's these ghost face masks and like little hoods that have been put on all the like the, what are they called? On the lamp posts, street lights, whatever.
Yeah.
And we get an introduction to Deputy Judy Hicks.
Oh yeah. First though, we kind of get Kirby.
Right.
We get to see her.
Oh, that's right. He yells at Kirby.
And Kirby's going to pick up
what's her face's?
The Jill, Emma Roberts' character, and also Olivia. And then, so first off, I put "Save the Cheerleader, Save the World," because that's her, right?
Heroes,
from Heroes. Then once they're in the car, Trevor has called all of them, which again, so I think really early with even Marnie and them when they were like, "Is this Trevor?"
Yeah, that's right.
I feel like they're doing a good job of putting Trevor.
They're planting the seed already. Is a suspect.
Yeah. And when they're now again saying Trevor's calling everyone, like he's the ex-boyfriend, like you automatically want to
up, and you're already like, well, I've seen this before.
Yeah. So he's your go-to like suspect, I think, the whole movie, and they wasted absolutely zero time starting to plant those seeds. Yeah. There was a Final Destination shout out at some point in there.
Compared to all the other movies too, did you feel like, I mean, this movie is still as long as the other movies, basically, but like it moved fast. It was pretty, for me, like it moved
it did move pretty fast. Yeah.
Like already we started getting into like it didn't take long to get into the kills and like, all right, where the gears are going.
They're trying to outdo the original, so they have to. I did like the nice jump scare with the car because Kirby's apparently a really shit driver. Same. He doesn't pay attention. Same. And I liked how not scary it was, but like how it was a good jump scare. Yeah.
It added a good scare.
Because I love a good jump scare that's not actually something scary. Like when it is something silly like that.
And then fish from the Deep House.
Yeah, exactly. So then when you jump, you're like, oh fuck, why did I jump? Like, ugh. I love those kinds of jump scares. So I thought that one was really good. But yes, then we get to Officer, what's her name?
Deputy Judy.
Yeah, I hate her.
Yeah.
I fucking could not stand her. And I was like,
was annoying.
She wants Dewey's D so bad.
Yeah, I'm like, she's flirting very, very, very much with him.
She is. I was like, and she was like, eating my lemon square won't make you mean you're cheating on your wife. And I was like, bitch, what kind of phrase is that? Like, also, dude, stop coming for him. He's got a wife.
Literally.
Like, I don't care how much you like him and how much better you think he's going to be. You're going to be for him. But like.
With her lemon square.
With your fucking lemon squares. Don't worry.
I don't like lemon squares.
Monica. Oh, I love lemon squares. But Monica comes for him later. So.
Yeah. And then we have they're trying to pull off all the ghosty faces off of the
off the lamppost.
The lamppost. And that's whenever he gets the call about like. Sheriff, you got to get over here. It's bad. It's really, really bad.
The way she throws her
lemon squares
right
in back
the car.
Into the vehicle. I'm like, oh.
The way you said that made me think of what's her face saying, "I want a hot dog.
I want a hot dog, really bad. Real bad." It makes me think of the 4th of July. Jennifer Coolidge from Legally Blonde. And so we have then. Is that whenever? We get then I think it's like a cut back to or if maybe not before the phone call that Dewey gets, it's we cut to Gail and she's like watching the little segment of Sydney.
I put Gail high key looking a little older. Her age was showing in this one.
Just a little bit in the face. Yeah. I mean, it had been 11 years.
It had been 11 years.
Yeah. And at this point, I mean, what? Courtney Cox is in her 40s, like late 40s maybe.
Yeah, she gotta be.
And so, but even then, she looks good.
I mean, yeah, she's so
she looks
damn
great.
good.
And her body is snatched.
Yeah.
Her body was like
completely.
and everything was so fitted that she wore. It was like, oh, okay. I did like her hair in this too.
It was very pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Very luxurious Garnier
Mm-hmm.
Fructis commercial.
And so,
I feel like
we've
she
got
actually
her
did do
going-
commercials with them.
probably she went to but she's back. Well, she's at her computer and she's like, okay, we're gonna reinvent myself. I'm gonna
I have no fucking idea what to write.
Yes, literally.
That would be me
Mhm.
if I was a writer. And I'm not.
But it's funny because
So-
and then it's like I guess Dewey had told at that point did he tell Judy that because did she ask like where's your wife and she's like, oh, she's writing fiction now or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
So you get a kind of insight of what like where Gail is at right now as opposed to where she was when we left her at Scream 3,
Yeah.
which was like this hard hitting journalist like reporter cracking fucking murders
And writing about
mm-hmm.
real life events that have happened.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a complete 180 for her that doesn't seem to be working out.
Mm-hmm.
And clearly she's not happy.
we
with
see
it.
we see that.
Yeah.
And so then we have what's going on next? We cut to
I don't know. I just put, hey, it's that one guy. Oh, they're at school. They go
at
to school.
That's right.
And that one guy being fucking a Culkin.
the Culkin,
Yeah.
Rory Culkin.
Rory Culkin.
Mhm.
He's also in the Waco series.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he plays one of the
David Koреш's
Mhm.
minions.
Yeah.
Goons.
He's one of the ones that has a little bit more of a brain.
Okay.
Anyways, but
Yeah, so we
Yes,
have them
he's
all
in
at
there.
school. It's kind of like we're getting like from Scream 1 when all the kids are back at school and we're seeing like their interaction, like at least whenever they're walking up, to
Yeah.
the school.
and now we've got a guy that this does seem to come in quite handy. He's streaming essentially his life and
Mhm.
making a vlog series essentially of all of the school days at Woodsboro High, because I'm sure the world wants to see that.
It's a hall pass with what's his face?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll pass. That's right. But yeah, and then so we get that Charlie is Culkin's character. Charlie is like,
Yeah.
oh, Kirby wants me. And I was like, bitch, Kirby is a lesbian. Look at
All
her.
the way.
She is a fucking lesbian. She a little bi.
That's what I was about to say. She likes to dip in both ponds.
Mm-hmm.
Just a little bit.
But I was like, she ain't going for you, bud. Like,
I was
you see her,
living
she
for-
hot as fuck.
I was living for the look that they gave her.
Oh,
for
yeah, I
Kirby,
loved
like
it.
Hayden's Panettiers.
yeah,
look.
no, I
Mhm.
think she looked great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so yeah, we have them going into the school, and then Jill's talking to Kirby about because she's like, I think Charlie likes you, and she's
Mhm.
like, I like him too. To
Mhm.
torture, to
Yeah.
torment. So
So
it's
gonna
the
get
way that
turned.
I really liked Kirby's character throughout the
Yeah.
whole movie.
No, I thought she was great. She was very Tatum
Yeah. Ooh,
vibes
yeah.
to me.
Mhm. And what's funny is that I guess we'll mention it later, but there's something about the character it's herself too.
Mm-hmm.
But then we have homeboy. They're at the lockers and Trevor just pops up like out of nowhere, and it gives you that
Which is one of the very standard almost rules of a horror film.
and a very like Billy like behavior.
Yes. Yeah. No, he looked like a psychopath, and I was like,
The way
yeah,
he
this
acted,
motherfucker,
yeah.
he looks like a killer.
Mm-hmm.
Like, look at his face.
Ev-
He's got them like Ted Bundy vibes.
Even the way like he's talking to her and Jill kind of shuts him down, and I love the way she's like, you don't make a girl fall in love with you whenever she gives you everything.
Mm-hmm. Meaning that she gave it up to him just like
The
Sid did.
pussy. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Then he cheated on her, or just dumped her, I guess. Whatever the case.
He went on a date with someone else,
Yeah,
and
that's right.
she was like, and it's like, bitch.
a little pissy.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh well.
Pissy, like pissed off.
Yeah.
And so it's the way that then the dude with the camera is like, I don't know.
Yeah, he's just saying, "Oh,
Filming
look,
him.
you got turned down
That's
and
what it
stuff,
says, yeah.
rejected,"
And then he just like barks at him basically.
Yeah, and he's like, "Whoa,"
bucks at him.
and
I'll show you.
runs away.
Mhm.
Yep. And then everyone's in class and they're sitting there, and then all their phones start going
Yeah.
wild, and they're like, "Oh, she's been killed, or they've been killed," and the teacher's like, "What?" Like,
Yeah.
and that's basically how the school finds out. But then we cut to the actual book signing /
Mhm.
meet and greet, I guess, of Sid, which is there, like, and she's reading a passage from her book.
Yes.
And
It's her last stop on her book tour.
yeah.
Mhm.
And so everybody is there, and then the fucking police officers roll up. Whoop whoop. Monica has come to see her.
Yeah.
Gail's come to see her.
Gail's coming. She's trying to have a little powwow with Sydney, and then they're kind of catching up ish in a way. And then that's whenever Dewey comes and she sees Dewey, and then Dewey's like, sorry about this, Sid, but this is now everybody don't move.
It was such a dramatic, like, and unnecessarily over the top, in my opinion, just because that is very immature for police officers to be doing that. The way that whole situation was handled,
like it wasn't handled well. Yeah.
No,
sure.
like that would have been a very poorly handled crime scene. / you did nothing. You only incited the crowd. Like you,
everybody, danger.
Don't worry about it. But like, no, people are gonna fucking worry about it.
Murderer.
Yeah, and then they sit there and they're like calling the cop, and they're like, Dewey, it's coming from outside, and then they're walking around and stuff, and I was just like.
The call's coming from inside the trunk.
The trunk. And then, surprise, surprise, the phone call is coming from Sid's rental's trunk. And
which has like all her little headshots or like
the
copies,
stuff that's
photos
on the
of her book. With
covered
blood, with the phone and a knife. Which also I'm like, how did they get that in there?
Yeah, exactly.
At what point?
Yeah. And I don't know. That scene and fucking Judy, that's the
Judy Hicks.
Yeah. She coming in again and just like getting in Monica's face and being like, no, like this is official crime scene and stuff. And I was like, bitch, sit the fuck down. Gail Weathers has done so much for this.
She literally solved them, which we get to a little bit here in a minute.
And
where
I
they're
was
at the police station.
High key fucking pissed at Dewey for not taking her side.
Yeah.
I was like, bitch, this is your wife of 10 years now. And you're not taking her fucking side?
Yeah.
Like,
I also felt that way, especially whenever Gail goes to the police station and then she's trying to get in there, and then whatever Hicks is all like, it's official police business, you can't go in there.
Like, I'm sorry, you're trying to solve a crime.
And then
you should be doing anything you physically can to solve this, and that if that includes involving your wife in it because she has been a part of the past 3, you fucking do it.
I would imagine of like, exactly, and that's the case is that like, I mean, it would be different if she had nothing to do with whatever was going on before, but she literally has lived it.
Yeah.
And it's the way that
she's not a random bystander.
I love that she said it twice. She's like, I wrote the book on this.
Yes, and when she slammed the door on Judy's face, I was like,
the book. Literally.
Tell her, bitch. Oh, I love it.
And then her and Dewey are having this thing, and that's whenever she's like, well, I'm gonna go rogue, I guess, because he's not letting her be a part of the investigation or giving her any information, because then she's like, there are 2 dead kids.
Oh wait, so the fucking that one kid at the end, when all the students found out about the murders, when he asked, what's your favorite scary movie? And I was like, boy, not the time
And place. Yeah.
He reminded me a lot of Randy.
Yes. Which was the
was the whole point.
Him and Charlie, I guess, were supposed to be the Randy characters.
But that part just that cracked me up. I was like, oh. But then so then Gail Weathers, she comes into the police station and she looks hot AF. I was like, okay, she looked hot AF now. And she eats one of those lemon squares, and on the way out after that conversation she had with Dewey, she's like, your lemon squares taste like ass. I was like, loved it. I loved it. I was like, what a petty thing to say, but I'm here for it. I hate Judy. I fucking hate her. That was my next note.
Yeah.
And then, yes, this is where we get Allison Brie. Again, as Monica said, I'm going to go rogue. Gail said, I'm going to go rogue. And this is, I'm going to do my own fucking thing now. And Allison Brie's talking to her. And
whoever.
Says something about your tarnished reputation.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And she's like, I'm about to rejuvenate your face with this tarnished reputation or something. Yeah. And I was like, well, and then she goes, I still got it.
Yes, I loved it. And that's the way in at least every movie, Gail has an interaction where she puts someone in their place. Yeah.
She's like, sit down, bitch.
With
this is my film.
Scream 2 with Billy's mom. And Scream 3 with her interactions with her other Gail, fake Gail.
Oh yeah, fake Gail.
Yeah. And then I guess in one, you would consider it like her interaction with Sydney.
Yeah.
Yeah. So pretty cool.
Gail Weathers steps on people.
She does. She's a badass.
She is she probably has had Dewey tied up so many times.
And I love how she told Allison Brie. She's like, it's no longer, it's not Gail Weathers anymore. It's Gail Riley.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, oh, you gave it all up for love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I was like,
cute. Yeah. Yeah. I wouldn't have changed my name.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Not if I was iconic. I don't think I want to change my last name in general.
Gail Weathers.
If I get married.
Riley.
Yeah.
Gail Weathers Riley. No, just Gail Weathers.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just the name. Gail Weathers.
It's like I was reading some the other day, and it was this woman. She was married and was a doctor, and basically they're like, why didn't you take your husband's last name? And she was like, he's not a fucking doctor. Like,
right?
I'm the fucking doctor. So fuck you. Yeah. Like, I mean, if I had some weight behind my name,
it's my namesake.
I don't even have weight behind my name, and I still don't really want to change my name. That's a lot of work.
It is, isn't it?
Go by a new name.
And then what is that?
Students call me Miss Klein. I can't be anything else.
Also, what is that? That like such an old I feel like that's out, like what you become someone else's like what, like property, like what, like you're that you're just like
when at the end of like a wedding when they announce they're like Mr. and Mrs. Sorry, don't want to call my brother out, but this is what they said. Mr. and Mrs. Brett Klein. I was like, her name's Zoe. She's
when because they used his name, like
full name.
Yeah,
and I
gotcha.
was like, oh, your name's
that's weird.
That has always been weird to me. I love you guys. I wasn't meaning anything to y'all or your pastor who said that, but
but I get that.
It's just weird if somebody called me like my husband's full name, or
I mean, I get like just the like Mr. and Mrs. Klein, but like Brett Klein. Okay,
when they put the full name, I'm like,
man,
weird.
But that's our own issues with commitment and
yes,
being married, that tied to someone else.
Anyways, back to the film. Dewey is now talking with Sid, and he brings up, we're in the aunt's house now. We're in Aunt whatever her name is house. Jill's mom.
Oh God. Oh, I know her name. I wrote it down.
Yeah, I think I wrote it down when she
Kate.
Kate. Okay, so we're in Kate's house, and Dewey's sitting there with her, and he quotes her book, and he's like, page 255 or something. I was like, Dewey's got this book memorized.
Something out of darkness.
It's the way he's got the whole, like at one point when she's like, I'm at Kirby's house, he says, go to 325 Meadow Lane or whatever. Yeah. And I was like, how do you have everyone's addresses just memorized? Like Dewey is the
exact same thing. Well, I mean, I guess when he's lived there his whole life though too. He's always lived there in Woodsboro. So.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And it seems like one of those, especially whenever like in that classroom scene, whenever they all got the news that like whatever face had died, the teacher even, like, I like how he was like, if it's got a whatever, if it's got an on-off switch, it's got to be off. But then they're like, what's a died? And he's like, like, what? It gave me that very sense of like, I mean, like he knows their mom and dad, like he, like, it's very small community kind of shit where like they know like, oh shit.
Everyone knows everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so now we're back in the house. Jill's upstairs and fucking Trevor's come through the window. Yeah. Looking sus as fuck. And I was like, yeah, fuck Trevor. I mean, I fell right for that bait. But again, I was suspecting everyone. At some point, I was like, I thought it was going to be that 90210 guy. He's not actually. She's in one of those sitcoms. Or like drama. Is it Gossip Girl?
You're talking about the cop.
Adam.
No, not Driver.
Brody?
Yeah, I know you're talking about Adam Brody. Yeah.
I suspected him at one point, and then I went and read he actually was supposed to be a third killer in one of the scripts.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And so I was like, oh, dude, okay. I was like, I was right suspecting him. I also suspect Judy quite a bit.
I suspected Judy too, because the way they make her, they give her very
right, because right after the scene, the scene where fucking Sid's up there being like, yeah, lock your window because you remind me of me, because she's having flashbacks with her and Billy. Rightly so. I was like, don't trust no boys coming through the window. We don't trust no window boys. No window boys.
Shady as hell.
Lock that window is what I said, and Sid sees it. And then, so Sid leaves the room, and Judy's standing in the fucking hallway like Michael Myers or some shit.
And it's the way she's about to leave, but then she's like, you probably don't remember me, but I watched you every day in high school.
Yeah, we were in this class, and I was like, this bitch obsessed.
And I love how Sydney also doesn't give that fake, like, oh, yeah.
She's like,
I don't remember you.
I have no fucking clue.
And I love how
Judy's like, I guess you had a lot going on.
Like, her
bitch.
mom getting murdered,
all of her friends getting murdered,
getting attacked by a killer.
targeted
every fucking 2 years.
Yeah. Sorry, I wouldn't remember anything either.
It's all a blur.
I would block that shit right out.
It's a K-hole.
And she was creepy. But she also the killer. Everyone was the killer. But then yes.
And at this point, that's when we have Olivia coming home, and they're talking to Olivia on the phone as what's her face, Kirby and Jill
are watching Shaun of the Dead, and they are. Olivia's like, no, I think I'm gonna go over to my house. And the moment she said that, I was like, and this bitch is dead. Dead.
Yeah,
she is dead.
Never go by yourself.
And then they get the nice little phone call from Ghostface, and they're like, fuck you, hang up. Yeah, and then Jill tries to be Ghostface,
well, that's
which,
right.
as it turns out,
but foreshadowing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But she gave a really shit Ghostface impression, and
because she's hustling everybody.
She is. She is.
Good little faker there. And yeah, and so then we have Olivia like being like, whatever, haha, that sucks.
She's in her cute little yellow bra.
And that's when
I noticed that. For them boobies.
I noticed that. She looked real good.
She did. I was mad that she put a sweater on for the kills. I was like,
should have kept her in the bra.
Yeah, should have kept her in the bra.
And at this point too, that's when we get the like first mention or reference to Stabathon, because someone, either Kirby or Jill, asks like, do we know where it's gonna, or no, Olivia asks, where's Stabathon going to be this year? And then Jill's just like, well, I never go anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. And then he's saying like, he's fucking with them essentially. And then he's just like, I'm standing in the closet.
That's what, because Ghostface is on the phone.
As they were panning in on Jill's closet, I was like, nah, he is not in, he's in Olivia's closet.
I love how Kirby keeps being like, Trevor, stop it, whatever. And then the Ghostface was like, does it sound like fucking Trevor?
I'm not Trevor.
This is a fucking Trevor.
And I was like, yes, he is. It is Trevor. Because I was suspecting Trevor. But wasn't.
And it's the way that he's like, I know what you're watching because I'm in the closet. And they open the closet and he's like, wrong closet.
I never said I was standing in your closet.
Poor Olivia.
Yeah, man, dude, she got fucking gutted.
I really liked the scene.
Yeah, no.
I loved how brutal it was.
It reminded me of like very much so Friday Nightmare on Elm Street. Like with
in
the way
bedroom.
that the blood was covered on the walls and stuff. And then we actually get to see her gutted.
Like she gets stabbed in the hand, like the whole interaction.
She fights for a while.
Gets thrown onto the window thing. We got Sydney now looking and figuring out what's going on.
Jill and fucking Kirby just standing
watching their friend getting murdered.
Do something.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
What good is just sitting there screaming gonna fucking do? Nothing.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing.
I mean, we know why Jill didn't do anything.
Yeah.
But I mean, like Kirby. Yeah.
And then thank God fucking Sid goes down and is like,
I gotta do something.
Get up there. Yeah.
But the cops are not there. And then she has to go up, and then that's when you said, we see fucking Olivia just literally gutted. And her intestines just like on the bed. And
I was shocked that we got to like see them hanging out, considering like how in the original we couldn't see, we didn't really get to see what's her face's intestines hanging out.
I think that's also a good reflection of just like time and like where we are now, and like it's not as censored as it used to be.
True.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Which I'm just like, if you couldn't show that, but like in the fucking Exorcist, they can talk about shoving a cross up your crotch in the 70s. I'm like, damn, I don't know.
Yeah.
So that's confusing to me. I guess things were a little bit more lax then, and then we got the helicopter parents in the early 90s, 2000s era. Anyways, no, I was still a fucking latchkey kid. But anyways.
I blame Reagan.
But the whole room is just fucking covered in blood. Like, it is covered.
Yeah, I put so much bloods.
So much bloods. It really was. It looked good. I like that. And then this is where we get the mention of them wanting to make another movie. Essentially. Because I think when she's on the phone with them, he says, like, you're the star. And, like, she was like, this isn't a movie. And then he goes, it will be.
Yeah.
And so that's when we get the, like, fuck, like, another movie's being made. And it's happening real time kind of thing. This is gonna be the next movie, like you're in it. And
then we have her being on the phone, and then Jill comes up into the house, and then that's whenever
she's like, don't look.
And then Ghostface pops out from behind Jill. That's right, and starts attacking both of them. And then I love how Sydney goes automatically into like fight mode, and they're down on the stairs as they somehow always end up on stairs.
Yeah.
And then and at this point is because at this Ghostface had just told her on the phone, like, you won't die until I want you to, and until then you're going to suffer. And then it's like,
which that was a good line. Like, I was like, oh fuck. He was like, I'm gonna slit your eyelids so that way you can't
watch
blink
yourself die
when I stab you in the face. I was like, okay, weird, but I was trying to imagine it. I was just like, okay, we're gonna cut them open like little curtains.
Imagine
ping,
having your eyelids just cut away and just your eyes would get so dry and back. And you can't even do this little number because you have no fucking eyelids.
Dude, I hate when I rub my eyes. Like, can you hear it?
Oh, right now?
Like, no, like when you rub your eyes and then it's like the I don't know, that it fucking freaks me out.
Do that noise again for me. Do it again.
I can't read. Not even the same. Oh, anyways, I'm not a sound maker. Anyways. But yeah, then Trevor runs in real fucking right as Ghostface got away, and I was like,
giving me very Billy vibes.
But then her getting stabbed is very Billy vibes, like in the
that's
arm, and also boyfriend from 2. Remember when he got stabbed?
Oh, he did get stabbed. That's a good callback.
And everyone was like, real suspicious, and then but then you're not as suspicious of Jill.
That's true.
I feel like
at this
you're
point,
not.
I'm not. I wasn't as suspicious of her.
There was a point in time where I started being like, it could fucking be her too.
It was later towards the second half, I would say.
When
of the
she
movie,
starts talking about being in like the prison cell and like that made me be like, bitch, like your friends just got murdered. You're getting protected. Like
there were certain points towards the second half of the film where she would not be present, and then I'm like, wait, where's Jill? Where's Jill? But yeah, so we have
dude.
Oh yeah.
When she walks outside and stuff, and after the cops have gotten there now, and Sid's walking outside, and Jill has already told her like stay away, blah blah blah, and those people are just yelling, and they're like, "This is all your fault, Sydney." I was like, "Who the fuck are you?"
They were like, "You're
bitch?
Just like your mother."
Yeah, I was just like, "Fuck you, people."
I was like, "This is fucking hilarious."
Damn, that was like savage. I was like, "What the? No." God, fucking people are rude as fuck.
Yeah.
But then, so then now Gail's come up to the 2 boys sitting there recording and stuff. And then she's like,
she wants to work with them. Yeah.
Collab,
she's like, y'all run the AV club or the movie club. And he's like, it's called Cinema Club.
Yeah. Cinema Club. And then she's like, let me be a guest. And he was like, I want Sydney. She's the star. And so whenever he said that, I was like, yeah, I suspect him. So I was like, this is where I was like, Culkin's in on it. Culkin is for sure in on it. I was like, maybe other dude is in on it, but then I didn't really get those vibes from him.
Yeah.
And I did get the vibes that he was gay.
I got a lot of vibes from, if we're talking in terms of like who we were thinking the killer was, is Trevor and from Kirby. I actually got a lot of vibes from Kirby.
Yeah, there was one point when she didn't get the phone call, and then she was like, "Fuck, am I gonna be next?" And I was like,
the way I felt like she played that,
sus.
and the way she played that, I was like, like I'm scared. Oh my god. Like,
yeah.
You know? And then like she just knew so much about horror movies that it just was like, oh man, it could be Kirby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. I didn't suspect her a whole lot, but in that like a few moments, she did definitely show up on my radar. But yeah, that was where Culkin was like, nah, you's creepy AF kinda. So
and then we have a cut to we're back at the hospital, right? And then Bree is talking to Allison. Bree's talking with Sydney, and she's all like, "This is gonna be amazing. We can do this." And
we've got like 4 more books lined up.
Yeah, you get a check. You get to help people along the way. It's a win-win.
So many more people will hear your story.
Yeah,
just really trying to sell it, but also just like clearly this bitch only cares about.
She's trying to get paid.
Yeah,
she's trying to make money.
No regard for the fact that Sydney's just been attacked.
Yeah,
again. Like
her
fucking,
life, a series of attacks.
Yeah. So I was just at this point I was like, Allison, shut your goddamn mouth.
And I love how she's like, did you even read the book? She's like, I was gonna wait for the movie.
It's like, bitch.
And then I'm like, no, there's already movies.
Yeah. Fuck you. And then so when she's like, you're fired. And then the way that her character was just talking to her or talking to herself the whole way down, I was like, that does seem spot. I liked her personification of this character. Like I thought she did
good.
a great job embodying it, and I felt like, I mean,
of
this bitch was
overzealous manager who just wants to make
neurotic,
money.
borderline, and then is just sitting there, talking to herself. She'll come around. Yeah, she's gonna call me in the morning. She's gonna bed. Yeah.
And then we've got the parking garage scene where she gets into her vehicle and then it's not working.
Ghostface is playing with. She's on the phone with him beforehand.
That's right.
And she's like, yeah, I'm in the hospital with Sydney right now. And then at some point, her car alarm starts going off, and Ghostface is like, it doesn't sound like you're in the hospital. It sounds like you're in a parking garage. And he's like, but I can put you in the hospital if you want. In the morgue. And I was just like,
come on, Ghostface.
Tell her, Ghostface.
Yeah. I love it.
That part cracked me up.
And I love how they still had the same voice guy for Ghostface. And I miss Ghostface's voice, like being more heavy prominent, because I mean we still got it in the third one, but
it was so many people's voices.
And so this really like harped on like that good old like
it was just Ghostface.
Original,
Ghostface is the person here. And but bitch gets in her car, it's not starting, and then Ghostface slams down. He jumps down on her hood. I was like, what's that thing called? And that was a pretty good little and then, but then he's gone as per usual.
So fast.
It is like a ghost. Does. And this bitch gets out of her car.
That's exactly what I thought.
I was like, I would out of the car.
I would have stayed as long as I could in that vehicle
until someone else. Like, I mean, I know someone else like drove by and stuff, but no, like, don't get out of your car. That is, you are for sure locked in there.
Yeah,
it takes a big amount of effort to break through windows.
Yeah,
like.
And the only thing that I could think of is like maybe at that point, like Ghostface rigged the car while she was in the hospital with Sydney, and like maybe they could have done something else, like unlock it without her knowing. But still, I'm like, you're better. Like I was like,
your chances are better in the car.
Stay in the car. Yeah.
Because then if they are trying to break into the car and they get like a little bit stuck up in the window, that's your chance to run, and you fucking dip, and you don't sit there and hang around the car and look underneath it like she's doing. And I was just like, girl, like get.
She was.
You got out of the car. You need to get the hell out of Dodge now. Get the hell out. And then she finally starts running. Almost makes it, or she does.
Oh, she makes it to the door. It's just, I guess, at this point somehow Ghostface also managed to loosen or weaken the door handle. Or it's just that old that it breaks off. And I love the run up that Ghostface does when she turns around and it's just like running up and just stabs her.
Dude, the face she made when she got stabbed, I was like, is she gonna make out with him? Like, she looked like she was like going in for like almost a kiss, and I was like, Brie, Allison, you're dying. Like, what are you doing?
Maybe she's into it.
Yeah, maybe.
And, so and if she wasn't dead yet,
she definitely did,
because they're holding a press conference, and of course Dewey's like, we've got everything under control, everything's fine, and then. Allison Brie's body just like gets yeeted and thrown off of the garage,
and it brings in that media van again. I loved that death
because that was a callback also to
Homeboy being on the first one.
Yeah.
And then the media van is also he's also Randy's killed in a van.
Yeah,
I guess not the media van, but
there's always a media van. Someone dies in it or on it.
On it, around it. In the first one, the guy, her cameraman,
Kenny,
was murdered and then put on the roof because then he was flopping around as Gail was trying to get off my windshield. That was funny, but I put that was a good death. I liked her death, like her actual dying wasn't it, or possibly not dying.
Whenever she was stabbed was like.
But then
when she gets thrown into that vehicle, it's like damn.
And the whole cat and mouse before it was good.
And I loved watching like the body just like thwomps
and it really like
hits.
It was good. It was good.
Yeah, and then we have, of course, and everybody's like, oh my god, and then Gail's like, under control, huh, Dewey?
I was like, bitch, calm down on this shit, because he like shut her down in the middle of that. He was rude with how he talked to her there.
Yeah.
But then we cut to Cinema Club. Randy 2.0.
Giving us a breakdown.
And we get to the rules, essentially kind of the rules
of the remake.
Yeah, and they're talking about how essentially his purpose would be to film all the murders, which is the case.
Yeah.
But yes, the rules.
Because that's what the killer would do, making their own movie.
The rules being given, so it wasn't as like one, two, three,
Yeah.
as Randy's would have been. But essentially, I got unexpected is the new cliche, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Strong, and then he says something about strong opening sequence, way more extreme kills, which they do. This had the highest kill count with 14,
and they're more brutal,
I think. Yeah, clearly with the blood-covered walls and entrails being shown, and then getting thrown, and I mean her death on the top of the van scene, like the few pans that they have of it, stills of it, were pretty gruesome. Like, I mean,
I agree. Yeah.
So they did a good job. And essentially, we revert to the originals, kind of how it is. And they say the only way to survive a modern horror film is to be gay.
Be gay. It's the only way.
But clearly not a thing.
And I love how, I think at this point, I also love it's so funny because Sydney's like, so you just like film your entire high school experience and like post it online and whatever.
Post it on the net.
And then it's the way that he was like, everybody's going to be doing this, whatever. And I'm like, literally what happened?
Yep.
Literally everyone's always on their phone. Me, always posting shit. Like we post
I
our
know.
lives.
Every time my phone notifies me of my screen usage for the week, I'm like, oh my God.
So much.
It's like 6 hours. I'm like, Jesus Christ, what have I been doing? It's just watching fucking reels of BTS
Memes,
and
literally.
K-pop and anime. That's it.
And so then we also have our other mention of the Stabathon.
Yep.
And it's the way that Gail is like, I want to go to this, give me the location, and they don't want to give it to her.
Like, email invite only.
Yeah.
And it's the way that fucking, I was like, thanks, Sid, for asking why the fuck they're still having it after everything that's happened.
Yeah,
I was like, Sydney's the only one asking logical fucking questions here. Like, what the hell?
And it's the way they're like,
so insensitive.
Yeah. Because at that point, they're I also like this too. They're talking about how this remake is following like the same aspects or guideline of the first movie, where it's like the two teenagers get killed at the beginning, hot girl gets killed, and then where do we go? To
the
a party. Yeah, so I love how it's like already getting itself geared up to like, kind of what's gonna be going down.
Yeah, exactly.
And
we've reverted to the original, and there is no unexpected because that would be cliche.
Yeah,
so we got to follow it. We got to follow the guidelines. Exactly. There are rules. But
there are rules.
Anyways, then we flash forward to Sydney and Jill talking.
Having a little powwow.
Yeah, and it was like a little bonding moment, essentially.
Between
and this
cousins.
is, where they're talking about, I'm sorry that happened to Olivia. And then she's like, I'm sorry about your publicist, blah, blah. Talking about how do you handle being stared at all the time.
Yes.
And Sid's like, do people stare at me? Which was clearly, she was like, that's a joke. But I don't know. And then this is where she mentions, though, the prison cell thing, in which I was like, girl, like, I mean, you're being cased. You're essentially on house arrest, and you're still trying to, like, you're wanting to go out. And I was like, your friends have been fucking murdered. One of your best friends. And so at this point I was like,
suspicious.
Yeah. And I was like a little bit like, no.
Might got something going on there.
And then with that reflection that she sees in the window, I liked that. I was like, ooh. I liked it.
It was good.
But
then we have it go into
the Stabathon.
And
it looks fun as fuck.
It does.
I want to go.
They're at some like barnyard looking ass shit.
But it is in such poor taste.
Yeah.
But everyone's dressed up, and
it's
they've got a fucking body hanging with the entrails out.
Yeah.
I guess who would have been Drew Barrymore.
Good callback.
Yeah. And it looked like a fucking great time. And they're like, we're going to drink every time someone says no, every time it's an unsuspecting character or something. And anytime
there was one more, I think.
Yeah. It was like when an unsuspecting character pops up behind like they close the door and it's so like essentially Trevor behind the locker. And then something about answering or when the call can't get through or something like that.
Inside the house. Yeah.
But it looked like a good time.
It does. Everybody looks like they're like kind of like callback to Scream 2 whenever they were having this screening of Stab
the original
1,
Stab, which is what they're streaming,
having a screening of right now, which is also kind of like, okay, come on, y'all, not having to refilm new things. They could just like use the same footage. Yeah.
No, it looked good. And then I loved how literally everyone was just quoting the film word for word. They were just like, we know this film backwards and forwards.
Such a cult experience.
Yeah. I was like, how fun would that be though, to just like sit with people who love something so much that
you just talk about it, or like whatever, recreating it.
Seems like
mimicking
fun.
it. It does.
We should do it.
We should have a little stop on. And then at this point, I also love it because then we've got Gail, and it's the way that I was like, wait, who is this? Gail's in a ghost face mask.
She looked so awkward.
Literally,
the way she was like she did like finger guns at one point or something, and I was like, Gail, what?
Oh, poor Gail. She's being a sleuth. She's putting cameras down so she can record and see what's going down in the Stabathon. But yes, I loved it.
Oh, and it's just the cameras were so big.
Yeah.
They were so large, which is,
they look like security cameras that like are on the side of buildings.
Yeah, that she just like picked up and was like, here you go.
I'll use these.
Yeah. And so it was just entertaining to me that she put it over the little pig head, one up filming the actual screening itself, and that the upper loft part of a barn. I don't know what that part's called.
A loft.
You put hay or something.
Yeah. And so she's doing all of that. And then I love how she, even whenever the movie's starting, she walks in front of the screen and she's like,
she puts one there.
And puts one in front of everybody.
She flips them off and they're like, get out of the way. It was fun. Yeah, that was funny. I love it. And then she goes back out to the van essentially, and is watching. And so that's a very big callback to the first one. And then with Randy, which it will kind of come into play here in a second.
Yes.
But we see that while she's there, all the cameras are getting
flipped over,
around, hidden,
covered, whatever you want to call
Essentially, she can't see anything. And she's like, oh, fuck, like he's there. He's there. She calls Dewey.
Dewey's like, oh, no, you shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah, he doesn't really believe her. And he does something where he just, the way that he reacts, it was just like, dude, you're being a fucking child.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Well, and also it's like, even if it's like not a lead or nothing that's gonna pan out, like your wife might be in danger, so maybe go make sure she's not in danger. Yeah.
But anyways, Gail goes back in to investigate and see who the fuck flipped her cameras around. She gets back in, she's fixing them, realizes like they've been turned upside down, and then she realizes there's more cameras.
Yeah.
And they're on her. And this is where Dewey pulls up. He's looking through can see the footage being streamed onto the laptop in her car. And this is a very like, turn around behind you.
Yeah.
Because Gail's holding her camera in her hand while she's looking at the camera that is on her. And
it's Ghostface watching her.
We get Ghostface running up behind her, and Dewey's like, turn around, which is very, very much like Randy talking about.
Very much so.
Yeah. I loved it. But yeah, Gail puts up a fucking fight. She really does. And once again, like it's lining up with Stab 1 happening on the screen too, because Gail's like running from Ghostface and stuff.
And so like, and all the screams are covering up her like actual screams of what's happening, so nobody knows what's going on.
Because
until Dewey comes in and just starts shooting them.
Yep, he
shooting
rounds
rounds.
him, and Gail got fucking stabbed. She got stabbed in the shoulder, which is an important callback that they don't ever tell anyone where she got stabbed. Which, because that was the moment when Homegirl says that at the end. I was like, how's she know that? How does she know that? And then when he goes to Gail, I was like, oh, okay, Gail asking the right questions.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he's fucking shooting him. They get Gail out, and at that point, this is like, he's recording the murders. This time he's making the movies. Like that much is very apparent by this part of the film. But then we have a little comedic break with the cops. In the car,
and they're talking. He's like, man,
Haas and Perkins,
Brody. Yeah. He's like, the cops always die, basically. Yeah.
And the guy was like, no, they don't. And then I was like, movie cops really do always die, and especially in these films. Like we had the two guys who were escorting Sydney in the second one.
Yeah, and they got killed.
They
always get killed.
And one of them was gay, so
that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, they mentioned that. I felt like, or maybe they were just speculating. I don't remember. Anyways, but he got murdered.
And so these cops also get murdered.
Mm-hmm. I liked, and here again, I was really still suspecting Adam Brody's character, yeah, because he was like, or I could come back or you could come back and I'd be dead in the car, like with my eyes gouged out and stuff like that. And I was like, and then when he's going around and stuff, that, you know, they're really like playing, kind of making fun of the rules at this point. But he's going around, sees the window open already, and he's like, was this open on your last one? Yeah. And so at this point, like, okay, they know something's wrong. And you think that Perkins is dead already whenever he gets back, because he's playing that little joke on him.
Yes.
And that was like, fucking Perkins.
And then we get Haas actually getting fucking murdered.
Mm-hmm. He gets stabbed
in the back.
And then he goes down really quickly, and then Perkins gets stabbed in the head.
Poor guy.
And he goes, "Oh shit!" That was his first reaction, was saying, "Oh shit."
Ooh.
Ooh. And he gets up for a bit, like he's up for a while, and I was just like,
trying to get away, I mean, until he falls.
How'd you get stabbed in the head? Like, other boy got stabbed in the back and he's down, and then he got stabbed in the head and he's sitting here walking around. Walks, and then as we talked about earlier, last words being fuck Bruce Willis.
Yeah, it was his brain, so like it's not as like, because you're not losing blood as like,
he was pumping some blood
there,
from
but
his.
like I mean like.
I mean, you can get shot in the head and survive.
Yeah. Like it depends on like where it went into his brain. You know what I mean? So that's why I feel like it was more of a slower. Like he was still functioning. Able to like whoa, yeah. But I mean, not for long.
Yeah.
Like a minute more. Yeah.
Then he goes down. I did like the way he checked the back seats, which like I always check back seats when I get into my car. This is one of the first things I do. I guess I'm just paranoid. I don't know. Yeah. And then there was that one scary stories to tell in the dark with the headlights story where the person was flashing their high beams behind a person, and they were like, why is this person flashing their high beams? And they get home and the person has followed them, and they were like, every time I would flash my high beams, it was someone had popped up in your back seat. And so I was flashing him so you would look and see him. Yeah. And so because of that, I always check my back seat.
Yeah, that's frightening. Honestly.
I
should start checking my back seat.
Yeah, you should. You really should.
And so we have the cops get murdered.
Cops get murdered, and we flash back to Sydney.
Sydney's back in the house with
she's trying to take down these wind chimes, and then Kate is the mom.
Pops back up.
Her
Kate
aunt
pops out, and she's for some reason shopping at like I don't know fucking time it is at night.
Yeah, she was like, it helps me relieve stress or whatever. But this bitch left one bag in the car, and I was like, that's why you gotta carry them all in one trip. This is why you did. Literally. Not really. She does survive coming back, but I was like, you can't leave one more bag in the car. Also, you couldn't carry one more bag. Like at that point, just leave like
bring them all
3.
In, because she did have a good amount of bags with her already. So it's like, come on, especially with everything going on.
Let's
be safe. And so we have then
she gets a ghost face phone call.
She gets a ghost face phone call.
He makes her turn on the news, making her watch the news once again.
Gail's been stabbed. Yeah. She's like, fuck.
And she's like, oh no. But at this point, And
then she goes up to look for Jill. But she can't find Jill in her room, right? Yes.
And so she comes back down, and the aunt, talking with the aunt, the way whenever she calls Jill, and the phone essentially goes straight to voicemail. It rang like once. And then she was like, I can't get a hold of her. She's not picking up. It was so dramatic. I was like, okay. And they're now at this point, though, they're like, okay, Ghostface is trying to get us, and they're trying to get out. And they almost make it out, or they close the door.
They do, basically. But then,
and I love the way the aunt braced the door. I was like, hell yeah, bitch. Like she went in, and then, but then she gets stabbed.
Right in the head.
Through the mail slot, which I was like, would it work? I don't know.
I think it would.
I guess if it was right in the crook of her neck so it could open enough. Otherwise, you'd have to be pretty strong to get it through. But I mean, they stabbed through a restroom partition, so they can do whatever they want. They're Ghostface.
Ghostface can do anything.
But then, so fucking Judy pops up and is like, I'm here. And then...
It's very suspicious.
Yeah. And then Sid bolts.
Yeah.
I was like, girl, that makes you look guilty as fuck. Mm-hmm. Like, I was like, I know it's not you, Sid, but you can't do that. Like, you understands what it makes you look like, right?
The murderer.
It's just, Jesus fucking Christ. But then we're getting Gail on the stretcher after Sid has fled. Mm-hmm. And she's still being sassy on the fucking stretcher. She's like, easy, when they're flopping her all around and stuff.
In Gail fashion.
Yeah.
Yes.
I loved it. I was like, hell yeah, Gail. And then her and Dewey have another little moment. And she's like, Dewey, catch that motherfucker.
Mm-hmm. I remember that.
I will. I love you. I love you too. Blah, blah, blah.
The line.
Yeah. It was like, oh, okay.
And then we go and we're at Kirby's house now where all the rest of the kiddos are.
Mm-hmm. And party is the false ending, according to the new rules. It says. So now we're at the after party.
And that's where the remake is at. Mm-hmm. And then we got Trevor showing up out of nowhere.
Yeah, fuck you. Saying that he had been texted to show up.
By Jill's phone. And it's where that Jill at this point is like, I would never.
Yeah, I wouldn't text him. I don't even know where is my phone? Where is it?
Very convenient.
And she goes to look for it.
This also started having me suspect her.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. At this point, I thought maybe her and him were in on it together.
Same.
At some point. And
like a little boyfriend-girlfriend duo type of thing.
Yeah.
Bonnie and Clyde.
It's the way these movies always have me all over the place. I just really think it's everyone.
Mm-hmm. Same. Everyone's a suspect. It's really rules. Everyone's a suspect.
They do a good job. I do like how at this point they started. They streamed Stab 7, which was
Olivia's favorite.
And it was the beginning of this movie. Mm-hmm. So I was like, I do like how the beginning of this movie is now playing again in the background. Yeah. I was like, that's
full circle.
That's good. I like it.
Brings it all back around.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have the phone drama. Jill leaves, and we have what's his face.
We follow.
I forget his name, but the camera boy.
Yeah, camera boy. We go out there, and we're like, okay, he's essentially going to get his own death filmed. Yeah, because he turns it on, and he's like, but this is where he goes, my Charlie is going to get lucky with a girl, and I was like, my Charlie, and I was like,
so you thought he was gay?
Yeah. And then, I mean, eventually, like he does when he's getting murdered, he says, you can't kill me, I'm gay.
Which I don't know if he really meant, right? I don't know if it really meant what he was or just saying that just because of the trip, right? For sure.
But I want to believe that he was pining after Charlie.
Yeah,
I could get behind it.
And then we have...
I love the way that the jump scare with the plant, too. And then he fucking
when he hits his head into a plant. He's like, fuck.
And then, which is an important part because he ends up putting his headset thing back on backwards, which I liked the way that I liked how Ghostface didn't come up from behind because it makes you think that it is.
And then it's like right in front of him.
Then he turns it around and he goes, that's better. And then Ghostface is there and
stabs him.
Yeah, it was good.
Right in the abdomen. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I liked his death.
And then
you can't kill me, I'm gay. And he's like, if it helps. It's so funny. And then because the killer pauses.
Yeah,
and that Ghostface pauses.
Their head like, what?
Yeah.
It's Charlie.
Mm-hmm.
Now at this point, I don't, and it's kind of hard in hindsight to remember, like, look back, like who was who. But this one was the one where I was most confused of, like, well, could it have been this? Like, who did what? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In terms of the partnership.
And he does come forward later and says that, like, I killed him. Mm-hmm. But I think this was right after he got up and walked away from Kirby because they were about to kiss or something.
Yes.
And
because Trevor came back and was like, I can't find, or have y'all seen Jill? And then Kirby and what's his face? Charlie were having a moment. And so then he's all like pissy and like leaves.
He gets up and I think that's when he goes and kills him. Mm-hmm. Anyways, but so Sydney is now, she makes it to the house and she's trying to make after Robbie or whatever his name is dead. Is his name Robbie? Why did that name just come up in my brain?
It might be.
That could be wrong. I don't know. Anyways, Sid gets to the house. She's there. She, whenever she's fighting, has her encounter with Ghostface. Yeah. Dude, she fucking donkey kicked him like in the face. And it's the way that his body went down the stair. It missed all the steps, but like she kicked him so hard that it felt kind of cartoonish. She just thump. This motherfucker went flying. I liked it. I was like, but she was like on her hands and knees and she like donkey kicked him.
Yeah.
She was like, dump. I loved it.
And then she tells, that was right before after she tells Jill to hide under the bed.
Yeah, they get upstairs, tells Jill to hide under the bed.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And then she tries to make it look like Jill got away, which was really smart. Mm-hmm. It was really smart. Mm-hmm. And she's up on the roof and, is trying to lure Ghostface away from Jill, where Jill's under the bed hiding. And so at this point I was like, it's Trevor and Movie Dude. It's definitely Movie Dude. Mm-hmm. But I was like, Culkin is in on this for sure. Yeah. And even when he was tied up, I was like, yeah, I still don't trust this bitch. Yeah. Yeah.
At that point, it had kind of threw me for a loop. I was like, wait. I mean, maybe for like not.
2 seconds, but then I was like,
yeah.
I don't know. I still was just like, I don't know if I believe this yet, because I feel like they've done, I guess it was kind of like similar to in the second film when Homeboy was still tied up to the star, that I was like, nah, I still suspect this motherfucker. Yeah, even same. Like after he was shot, I was like, I still suspect him.
It was really him.
Yeah. So.
Retcon. He'll be the killer in the fifth one.
Yeah. Yeah. He comes
from
back.
Like Resurrection.
I love it.
Sixth film. Yeah. So then we have, I love that also too, the whole scene of like Kirby getting questioned or a trivia question, because it's like a callback to the first movie as well.
Yes, yeah, that whole scene with the down with the boyfriend, there, because at this point Culkin has like knocked on the door and Kirby's like, no, I can't trust him. But then when he's tied up, and it's tied up just like the OG boyfriend, and then she gets a question wrong, but she gets a second chance, which was like, oh. And the way she just listed off every single fucking horror film she could think of, and was just like, it's got to be one of those. She's
one
like,
of those, right?
I got it right. And then she goes outside, just like how we had talked about, like, would you have gone outside? And so she fucking does, and frees him, but then he stabs her right in the tummy, right in the belly a few times. But we never actually see Kirby die.
We don't,
which is a big. She's supposed to still be alive, according to some removed scenes. So yes, Kirby's still technically alive.
Very much so. And it's the way that actually Wes Craven wanted her to like take over like in the next couple films. Which never got made. His scripts, his versions of what he wanted like 5 and 6 to be.
Hopefully there was hopefully they had some guidelines or had talked with him enough to have some sort of idea of where he was wanting to go. I would assume that was it. That much. I feel like his involvement will still be there.
Yeah, without him actually being there, because people will want to like honor what they know of him, I guess.
I imagine there was enough talk to where they could have come up with something.
Yeah. But so we've got a reveal finally that Charlie's in on it.
Yep,
one of the killers.
And then we're following now Sydney again, because she ran upstairs, was trying to find Jill. That was the whole reason she was gone, while Kirby and Charlie were having that interaction. And she gets upstairs. Jill's not under the bed, and she's like, I gotta find her. And then she comes downstairs, and lo and behold,
she gets attacked by Charlie.
Yeah.
First, and then Charlie's like holding her by choking her out, almost, I guess, in a sense.
She kicks his ass.
She kicks him. Yeah, gives him a good little roughen up. And then
another ghost face shows up.
Stabs her right in the stomach.
Yep. I was like, oh, fuck, she actually got stabbed.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, damn. And then homegirl pulls off the mask, and I was like, okay, yeah, I suspected her too. I was like, that wasn't a real big surprise to me. Now, her motive was shit. I was just like, girl, come on, get over yourself.
Literally.
I don't know.
She was psycho.
Yeah. Yes, she was. And she did a great job. She did a fantastic job acting at the end. I thought she did great. I was like, come on, really? Like that's your reasoning for killing all these people? Like, no, you're not okay. They fucking pull Trevor out of the closet, kind of like her dad.
Yeah, and it's because they're gonna frame him, so it's like perfect. And they're actually, and it's the way that Jill, and at this point, because every killer in Scream has to have a monologue of like, this was the whole plan, and this is what I'm going to do, and this is, you can never stop
evil
me.
Plan.
Yeah.
Ha, 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 and it's like, you never reveal your plan.
Because that's when it goes downhill.
Yep.
And so yeah, they're framing Trevor, and I love how she's just like shitting on Trevor, and she's just like, you don't cheat on me, and shoots him in the dick.
She shoots him in the dick. I was like, oh. I was like,
Literally.
wait, did she just what?
Shoots him in the dick and then shoots him in the freaking forehead.
Yep. At this point, I was like, kill Trevor anyway. So honestly, like I fucking already dislike him this whole time. So
so at this point, they're pretty much basically in just
killer or not, he was still
way.
an asshole.
Yeah. They're remaking the first movie, but like in their own way.
And so essentially, they're the Sydney and Randy. They're the survivors.
Finally, the nerd gets the girl.
Yeah, and at that point, I was like, ew, what? I was like, they were together.
Yeah,
I didn't like that.
I didn't either.
It just didn't look natural.
It really didn't,
and it wasn't. I guess because
obviously one-sided.
Wasn't. Yeah, she just wanted him to go along with the plan, and then she was like, the soul survivor is what really gets people going, blah, blah, blah. And then she goes off on her monologue saying like, do you have any idea what it's like to be a part of this family, being constantly in your shadow? Like everything is Sydney this, Sydney that. And I was like,
I wrote,
wow,
why is she so mad?
Yeah, I was like, dude, girl, come on. And then I do love when they're going to stab each other and he's like, what does he say? Get up, get up. And he's like, just like Billy and Stu.
Just like Billy and Stu.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then she goes, and instead of stabbing him in the shoulder, she stabs him in the heart. She broke his little heart. Oh, he trusted her.
Just like Stu and Billy.
Yeah.
And I love it because that's how Sydney even says, she's like, you said it, just like the movie, just like Stu and Billy. And she's just like, what the media really loves is one lone or soul survivor. Yeah. So I really like that, how it is very much so mimicking like what happened in the first movie.
Yeah, it was good.
And then she stabs Sydney one.
And she has the line of like, I want to become you. And I was like, what is this? Like,
yeah.
Jennifer's body shit.
Yeah, literally. She's like, I don't want to kill you. I want to be you or something.
I want to become you.
Yeah.
Is what she says.
And then
she was like, this is the best way to get, like, she was talking about like how I'm going to be famous from this, like as the hero, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, this is literally the worst way you could go about becoming famous, you dumb bitch. It's like, there are so many other things you could do that are not murdering 14 fucking people. I was like, no. And then at this point, I was like, this bitch is insane.
She really was. She was psychotic at this point.
She stabs Sid again. Sid goes down. At this point, I was like, she's not dead.
Yeah.
I was like, no way Sid is dead. But they make you, I guess, believe. And so then Homegirl has to go make it look like all of this was inflicted upon her. And she goes way above and beyond. I
love it, to be honest.
It was, I was like, girl, you've done enough. Like, you look like you've been fucked up. Like,
the way she like with the knife like on the wall and like throws herself onto the glass table. I can't believe
like she used his fingernails to gouge her face and then rip out her hair. Like, that was a fucking huge, and the way you could hear the hair ripping was like,
yeah.
But then
she committed to the role.
Stabbed herself, slammed her head into the thing, and then the glass table. That was supposedly a callback to something. I forgot. Not in a movie.
Oh, okay.
But another film.
Gotcha.
I don't remember.
Yeah, and so we've got Jill fucking hurting herself, and then we got her finally going and laying down next to Sydney, and it's like this really kind of shot frame of like the old Sydney and the new quote unquote Sydney, and then we have them flashing to the hospital, and we're back at the hospital.
Yep.
And Dewey is talking to Jill. And she's like, being, comforting and like being like, it's going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay. You survived. And then they're talking about it. And it's the way that Jill's like, if I write a book, I would want your wife to help me write it. We would make a good team.
And it's like, bitch, why are you already thinking about that?
We have matching scars.
Yep. And that's when I was like, how does she know this?
Yeah.
I was like, at this point in time, everything was happening so simultaneously that theoretically, she shouldn't really know what had happened to Gail. Yeah.
And so then that's whenever also Dewey tells Jill that Sydney's alive.
Yeah,
and she's
not dead. And she goes, she's not dead?
It's touch and go.
She's like, I want to see her. And I was like, do not let her see her. Do not let
literally.
her see Sid.
Mm-mm.
Absolutely not. But then he dips and he's going to check on Gail again, and then she wastes no time.
Yeah.
She gets right up. Yeah, she just rips everything out of her, and it's like, dink, 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 I'm gonna go see Sid. And Gail's asking the right questions when he was like, yeah, she said she would want to write a book with you, and because we have matching scars or whatever. And she was like, oh, she got stabbed in the shoulder. And then she was like, wait,
how would she know that?
How would she know that? And I was like, Gail asking the right questions here.
There you go.
And then Dewey runs for it. But I love when Emma Roberts, so Jill comes in and she's like, why won't you just fucking die? What are you, Michael Myers? And I was like, yay, Michael
Myers.
I was like, you're right. He fucking doesn't die. But then she gets on top of Sid, and when Sid like fucking with her eyeball, I was like, ooh, but
Love
then she's
gouged eyeball,
kicking her stomach wounds. Like, oh god, man, that had to hurt so fucking bad. They're going at it. They're fighting. Obviously, Jill's trying to kill Sydney.
Yeah, and it's the way that I'm like, where are the doctors, the nurses? Like, once again in another movie where this hospital seems abandoned,
like weirdly dim.
Yeah,
not sterile white, and yes, abandoned.
Literally,
like because the hallways were dark too, and it's like they don't.
And nobody's hearing any of like this big altercation between her and Jill. Like they're literally
a rather large one.
Yeah, throwing shit across the room.
And glass is breaking. Like they've broken everything in the room. But anyways, Dewey's on his way, and then she hides because she hears him and
hits him with the fucking bedpan.
Bedpan. Ew. I was like, not the bedpan. That's gross.
She gives him some good whacks too.
She knocks him out. She knocks him out cold. He's on the ground. And then at this point, though, Judy is coming in, right? And Gail has come in.
Yes. Gail came in first and is like trying to like de-escalate the situation. Yeah.
We can write a book.
And then that's when Deputy Judy comes in as soon as What's-Her-Face is about to try to like shoot at her or whatever, and like knocks and tackles Gail into the other side of the gurney, the bed.
Yeah.
And so that's whenever Jill is like, all right, throw the gun, like, give me the gun. And so Deputy Judy gives her the gun because Jill threatens to shoot Dewey in the head.
Yeah.
And at this one, it's like, she killed her mom. She'll do anything.
Yeah. This bitch is unhinged.
Crazy. And that's whenever we have her having this little altercation with Judy, because then Judy's like, she shoots her, and Judy falls
not mad
back.
that she got shot.
Not mad. She can die.
I was like,
And then we have
it's the way Gail wasn't either. Gail was like,
yeah, literally.
She was like
squares.
so unfazed.
Fuck y'all lemon squares.
Fuck your chicken strips.
Literally. Your chicken strips. And so then we have Gail then having a conversation with, or trying to like
stall. She's stalling because she can see Sid in the background messing with the EKG
the
defibrillator.
The defibrillator, there you go.
And she's sitting there messing with it, and Gail's just enough time, and then she's like, can I say like, one last word? And she goes, fine. And she goes,
well, she's like, what?
Clear.
Please?
Oh yeah, please or something.
Thank you.
And then she's like, clear. And then Jill's like, clear. And then Sydney goes, clear. And shocks that bitch ding on her head.
Yeah.
That cracked me up. I was like, LOL.
Scrambled her brains a little bit. And then we got Jill falling to the floor. And then that's whenever they're all like, like trying to check on Dewey, check on Gail. They're checking on each other.
And they say, don't fuck with the original. I liked that.
And then that's whenever I guess Dewey's like, somehow they're always behind you or something like that.
Yeah. And then so Sid gets that last shot in, because we know the killer's not dead. They're never not dead.
Never.
They never dead on the first time. You gotta do something else. Sorry, at one point Dewey asked, what hit me?
And she's like, don't
ask.
Goes,
you don't want to know. Like, yeah, don't ask. But then fucking, I put, oh, damn it, annoying cop isn't dead. She
Judy's
got up.
She's got her vest on.
She said, wear the vest, protect your chest, or something like that.
Yes.
And I was like, fine, okay, I guess. Gail was like, you're alive? And I was like, I could tell Gail was kind of like, damn it. And I was like, me too, Gail, me too. But then, well, the movie ends, right?
Yeah, with and it ends in the way that's like Jill wanted everybody to know her name, and now they will.
Yeah.
At this point, they still think she's a victim, but they're gonna learn.
But they're gonna
know
that
she was the fucking murderer.
Yeah, that she's not. And then it. So the opening, the ending, first song in the ending is "Bad Karma," which I was like, how fitting,
Yeah.
For everything that just occurred.
You know what I thought would have been really cool, or maybe it's too much of a copy or like taking another idea, is if Dewey would have told Jill, like, Sydney's not dead. She's gonna make it. She's gonna make it.
Yeah.
And then they cut the film there.
Oh yeah.
Ends.
That would have been
with
good.
her just having like this like piss like face like, and that way, and to do like if Wes would have still been alive, do like the movie probably would have came out like 2 years later, like 2013 or something like that, and have like a continuation of the same night into the next day, like how we
Like
did Halloween and Halloween 2.
Yeah.
I thought that would have been really cool to like then have a whole new movie of like then Jill like trying to cover up what she did and then trying to kill, or because he said Sydney might not remember, like thinking of a whole movie where Sydney has a little bit of amnesia and like Jill's trying to kill her the whole time but can't, and then Kirby comes back and then Kirby is like a good like, well, I knew it was Charlie, like this and that, but he was working with someone and she's got to figure out, well, who was he working with? And then it's a whole nother mystery of us knowing that it's Jill, but then it's not.
But Jill playing the good, good girl still. That would have been cool. I would have liked that. A few fun facts about the movie real fast. So Sydney's father was killed off in a deleted scene. There's quite a few deleted scenes actually from this. Wes Craven had a cameo that was deleted. But yeah, he was killed off in a deleted scene. And so sadly, if you consider cut material to be canon, a deleted scene from the film reveals that Neil has died prior to the events of Scream 4. In the cutscene, Dewey attempts to convince Gail to attend Sydney's book signing, and it's her first time back since her dad has died, Dewey says. But then anyways, that scene got cut. So I was like, interesting that now she's parentless as well. And it almost, instead of Emma Roberts, Ashley Greene, aka Alice Cullen from the Twilight series, was almost
oh really?
Jill. Yep. Which I was like, interesting. I don't know. It wouldn't have been the same.
The girl with the short hair from Twilight. Yeah, I know you're talking about.
The one that whenever she goes to kick the fucking, or to do baseball, she like high kicks above her head and shit. But yeah. Anyways, that I thought that was kind of cool. And then they almost gave Dewey and Gail a little Riley, but then the first like couple
a little actual, Riley,
a baby of the scene of the film, shows that they would have had a kid, and so they had a kid in the first couple of drafts. Wes Craven revealed to EW about the Axe subplot. Then we decided that it was going to make things impossible shooting, and there really wasn't a thing for the kid to be doing. Yeah. And Courtney was always showing up at crime scenes with a baby. This is not going to work. Yeah. It wouldn't have worked.
It would have got in the way.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I thought that was interesting. And then I like how they decided to focus on the fact that they're both fucking working individuals, and they're working, and it's totally chill that they don't have a baby. And at this point, though, by time Scream 4 was in production, Courtney and David had actually split. So they got together
for the movie,
for Scream 3 and stuff, and they were actually together at that point in time. And then now they're having to play lovers, and they are actually separated, which... Yeah. Damn, they did. I mean, I guess that maybe could be a little bit of the tension that was between them too, and why they seemed a little bit so unhappy. Maybe I don't know.
It worked well for the movie.
But yeah. Anyways, I just thought that was a
good little fun tidbits.
Yeah. Anyways, what would you? Boo time. What would you rate?
I'm gonna give Scream 4 3.5.
3.5.
Yeah.
Any particular reason?
I really liked it. I mean, I liked it, but I didn't wasn't like love it. I thought it did a really good job of like bringing it into 10 years now into the future, where we were at least then in 2011.
Yeah.
I liked the whole idea of like
so much more when you have all this technology, which I think the fifth one's going to play on a lot.
Yeah. And which they're like, filming everything, how like they're trying to create their own movie. Her motive was kind of just like a horrible motive, but
their motives are always fucking dumb.
Yeah, and true that, and because it's also like, why kill people like for this? But it's also like I kind of like the unhingedness, like her like chaos, like her psychopath.
She's just
psycho. So I really liked it. I like that it was I mean, I guess when I first watched it, I didn't really suspect Jill as much until the very end. So I think
I didn't suspect her till the very end.
It duped me pretty good. Like, it duped me pretty good back then.
I agree.
But yeah, no, I'd say a 3.5. It's a solid. It's solid for me.
Yeah.
It's
You want to give it a 4 since it's
almost
4?
want to give it a 4. Yeah, I
it.
think I'll give it a 4.
Do it.
I'll give Scream 4 a 4.
Scream 4 gets a 4.
Yeah.
From Josh. I think I'll give this
1.
one a no. I think a 3.
A 3.
Yeah, it was definitely not my favorite of the ones, but I still enjoyed it. I still enjoyed it a lot. I thought it was really good. I mean, Jill.
I enjoyed the deaths more and like the scenes between Ghostface and the actual victims.
Yes.
Like the fight scenes and the chase scenes. I felt like they were more like.
It wasn't as clumsy this time.
Yeah.
Was not
more
as
brutal.
Clumsy.
Yeah.
Which I did love the clumsiness of Ghostface and the others. And there were so many parts that I did really enjoy this film, but there were a few points where it was like, okay, this maybe is a little redundant. And I understand that that's the point and that's what they're going for. But then I was just kind of like, okay, I don't know. But overall, I still very much enjoyed it. I would watch it again.
Cool.
Like, and I really understand the hype behind Scream, the Scream franchise now, because at first I didn't. Like, I mean, I liked the first one, but I never watched it through that lens of like actually appreciating it. And so to me, it was just kind of like, this is just another horror film that's not scary. Like, I don't know. Apparently Emma Roberts, like, she has now played so many horror people, but she is afraid of horror films herself and like had to watch all of the other Screams from like under her covers. And I was like, why do you have to hide your eyes at all for this? This is not scary.
Scary. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, it is terrifying, the idea of how brutal and fucked up people are. Yeah, that is scary. But just to me, like, films like this it's not scary. It's,
but
I could see how it would scare normal people.
I could see with this one maybe, because I like this one. Like I said, I think I mentioned earlier, like I liked how this movie really got to it. Like it just like, you know what I mean? Like it didn't waste any time with like extra like dialogue or like stuff between like really like drama stuff between characters. It was just like Ghostface, chase, scene, kill, next one. Ghostface, chase, scene, kill, next one. Like, yeah. So I liked that. So
I agree.
But I asked you if you wanted to rank them, but I think maybe we'll wait till we do 5 and then we can rank all of them together. Yeah. And see how we feel about them.
I think that would be good.
But yeah, all in all, good one. Yeah. I'm gonna give it a 4.
So we get a 4 and a 3, making it a 3.5, I guess. From your booze, Wes Craven's 2011 Scream 4. Scream 4.
I'm like, I think it was his last film.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, before he passed away.
He died, what, 2015?
It's something like that.
I think.
I don't want to give the wrong date.
I believe it was that. While you're looking for that, as always, we are in the lovely Rogue Media Network studios. They are taking good care of us and making us sound beautiful and helping us plan for the future. Yay.
And he did die in 2015.
2015. Okay. I was like, I thought I read that this morning, but who the fuck knows? But yes, they always take good care of us. Listen to any of the other shows on this podcast on this network, and you will not be disappointed. I promise you. You can listen to us on several different streaming platforms, two of the biggest ones being
Apple Podcasts, and Spotify,
that's right. And if you are listening, please don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. That is the only way we can get ahead, and it really helps us a lot. It means a lot. Tell people. Word of mouth is another great way to support us.
Yes.
Tell friends to listen, and then to watch Scream with you, and then all the Screams, and then go see Scream 5.
Yeah,
comes out this week.
Coming out.
It looks like it's going to be fun.
We're excited for it.
I'm already excited. I mean, because of the technology things, when like it's like fucking I'm just glitching with the locks with the apps and stuff. And I'm like, I don't trust. I mean, I saw Smart House. That shit can turn on you.
Disney Channel, DCOM original. I'm super excited, and I have no idea where they're going to take it. So
yeah, I'm very curious to see because each time it has been so different too. So I mean, it could really be anything. So I am excited to watch it now. Little birthday present for me.
There
Yay.
you go.
And You can also follow along with us on one social media platform, being Instagram at
Boobaes Podcast.
That's right.
All one word.
Mm-hmm.
And that's BOOBAES, not a babes, because we're your boobaes.
That's right. We are your baes. And I think that's all we got for today, right?
I think so.
I think so. Let us leave and bye, baes.
Bye, baes.
This has been a Rogue Media podcast.